Yeah. 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 So many lies that you hear from the net, they don't get her respect. She reporting the truth, not a check. You want an unbiased opinion straight from the chest, not a bit of accomplice or someone here for a check. Tune in, these are thoughts from a lawyer on a mission who goes so hard it's like she works on commission. Trolls in the comments might say she tripping cause they lack the knowledge, they don't know they missing. Got a couple current events that you like, wanna know about law from the eyes. Tired of all these blogs running lies because their agendas are disguised. Tune in to the intellect, cause I'm sure y'all missing all the facts of the case that she steady is gifting. Someone here for the people, man, it's so uplifting. If you ain't subscribed yet, then you just omitting facts.
Hello, everyone. It's Pam Esquire, also known as your law intellect. Welcome to all of my intellects. I see you guys in the chat. I have gotten several emails asking me about this Shirley Strawberry's husband, Shirley Strawberry is a co-host on the Steve Harvey Morning Show. Her husband has found himself on the wrong side of the law. And I know there has been a lot of videos out there. However, once I really looked into what was going on, I found several open cases that we are going to go over. And apparently, there's going to be more, according to the prosecution. So right now, if you are a member, I have the link that displays the entire hearing, the Zoom link. It goes actually to the judge. I don't know how long they're going to keep it up, because typically they don't keep it up like that. So if you want to go over there and go, well, wait till after my show though. Don't do it right now. But there was a bond hearing that Earnest Williams, also known as Ernesto, where they went over several charges that he had. So they went over about, I think they named 6 different cases. So I looked up those 6 different cases, and we're going to go over them as briefly as we can, but it's probably going to take a minute. But make sure you hit the like, make sure you have subscribed. I miss you guys. Haven't been over here in a while. I've been streaming that YNW Melly trial, and so when I get done with that, I don't feel like doing anything. But I said, since I've had people that email me about it, that I was definitely going to talk about it. And then hopefully I have a couple of guests that'll come on and give their opinions related to it, because this has been a hot topic in the vlogger sphere. Can't even talk. So yeah, I still said spear instead of spear. Anyway, Sam Red, Love Jones. Hey, Mr. CKB, what up, though? Miss T, Angie, Natty, Annette, Jalecia, Rico, hey, Stacy, Angie, Miss B's Corner. All you guys, I see you guys piling in. I am so glad that you came over here to join us. You said, baby, the case. Yes. Mr. CKB, did you review this case? Did you review the case? Yes, we do love your show. Thank you so much for the respect, Mr. CKB. But yeah, he does have a great show over there. Go check him out as well. I want to know if you reviewed. Oh, you sure did. Wasn't it a lot? It's a lot. It's a lot going on with this case. So I'm going to start out, just for those that does not know who. So Shirley Strawberry is a co-host on the Steve Harvey Morning Show. What is interesting about her is that she has a segment called Strawberry Letter. And she gives a bunch of advice related to relationships, and you shouldn't take this, and yo man this, and all of that stuff, right? I mean, but what happened was, and I haven't listened to I don't listen to the radio that often, but I know that it's a very popular segment that she has. So she met her man and she married him. I mean, his name is Earnest Williams. They call him Ernesto. And he's supposed to be an entrepreneur, businessman, owns a haircut, a barber shop for celebrities. He's also has an unarmed security company. You'll see why he has an unarmed one in a minute, because he probably couldn't get an armed security. Oh Lord, he probably couldn't get an armed security company. But there was a lot of nice things that were said about this guy. So to the point that, as you see, Essence did this great inside Shirley Strawberry's wedding. She shares how she added love and marriage to her busy to-do list, plus get an exclusive look at her romantic wedding celebration. So they got radio hosts and they just got pictures. It's a nice, beautiful spread from Essence. Radio host and author Shirley Strawberry celebrated her wedding to entrepreneur Earnest Williams with the black and white Atlanta affair planned by Tony Conway. Look, it looks beautiful, doesn't it? Very beautiful, elegant. You said what had happened. Very beautiful, elegant. Okay, we gotta get serious here. We gotta get some backdrop. Look at that. The estate where it occurred, gorgeous, just gorgeous. Look at her and her bridesmaids. They all in the furs. I mean, this was a big deal. She did. This is her dress. She got a picture of her dress. She got something blue. She says a match. Shirley met her match after deciding to put more energy into her personal life and happiness. Quote, I wanted a relationship, but made no room in my life for a man, she recalls. I had faith that God was going to send me a man. But what was I doing? You can't go home every weekend and just sit there. You have to put yourself in the game. So she says she put herself in the game. See, those are the beautiful shoes. And then here's another quote. When you make room for love, you discover you have more than enough space. Gorgeous pictures. A friend of a friend. The couple met when a mutual friend introduced them at Ernesto's concierge business. The friend made a hasty departure, leaving the duo to quickly connect. He asked her on a formal date the same day. Now, a lot of people have been reporting that this is supposed to be Steve Harvey that hooked them up, but she didn't put his name out there. She just said a friend of a friend. So right now it's hearsay. And then the way they did it is hearsay within hearsay. So it's inadmissible. So I'm not about to put it out there because I don't know. Unless you guys know Steve Harvey said it out his mouth and you heard directly from him. But on here it just says a friend of a friend. They don't give Steve Harvey's name. You know. Y'all need to stop. We got to get serious because these charges, I'm sure she's devastated. Like, in all seriousness, I would be absolutely devastated. I'm going to be perfectly honest as a woman because it's a difference, and we'll get into it more. A lot of people have done dumb things when they're younger. And I do believe in second chances. I believe that you should be able to redeem yourself, all of that. Well, when you look at his past, it was just kind of like, that was a big leap of faith. It says Ernesto proposed live on the air of the Steve Harvey Morning Show with help from Shirley's daughter. Quote, I was so surprised and happy. So her daughter, which was also mentioned in some of these cases, was happy about this wedding. He says, this is Ernesto. This is what he said. That's a picture of him. What attracted me to Shirley was her positive energy, he said. I had to humble myself as a man to allow God to speak to me through this incredible woman. He got that talk. He got that mouthpiece. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Shout out to all you guys coming in. Southern gentleman Ernesto and his groomsman show off their Southern style. Look at them. Say what you mean. So she's still kind of giving advice in this article. She said, it says Strawberry was up front to Ernesto that she wasn't in the market just to be a girlfriend. There was a time I would never have said that and been afraid to say how I feel, she says. Quote, men say what they want all the time. So as women, we have to step up and say what we want. You just might get it. So she said she let him know she didn't want to be a girlfriend, she wanted to be a wife. And because she said that, she believes that she was able to get what she asked for. Yes, his name is Ernest. He's AKA Ernesto. We got more pictures. Instant connection. Strawberry introduced Ernesto to her daughter and maid of honor, Sheridan, a few months into their relationship. She loved him instantly. So she had the daughter too. He had the daughter, that he was a great guy as well. Now here we go with Steve. Steve Harvey flew in from taping his daytime talk show in Chicago to escort Shirley down the aisle. Quote, he's like my big brother and my uncle, she said. I've learned so much from him. I've learned so much from him. Oh, it was a very nice wedding. Steve Harvey radio show and Essence Festival host Thomas' nephew Tommy Miles read 1 Corinthians 13 and 4 through 8 during the ceremony. Y'all, 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 8 during the ceremony. Come on, let's see what that is. Thank you so much, all the new members. I appreciate it. Let me pull up the Bible. I pretty much know what it is, but 1 Corinthians. Oh my goodness, wait a minute. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, 4 through 8 reads as follows. Charity suffereth long and is kind. Charity envieth not. Charity vaunteth not itself, is not puffed up, doeth not behave itself unseemly, seeketh not her own, is not easily provoked, thinketh no evil, rejoiceth not in iniquity, but rejoiceth in the truth, beareth all things, believeth all things, hopeth all things, endureth all things. Charity never faileth. But whether there be prophecies, they shall fail. Whether there be tongues, they shall cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away. I have just read to you 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 4 through 8. This is what nephew Tommy. Ernesto said, when I saw my beautiful bride coming through the doors, I was so honored to be the man of her life. This is a gorgeous wedding, though, for real. I was walking so fast. Shirley remembers of her walk down the aisle. Steve was talking to me all the way down. Don't walk so fast, Shirley. Take in the moment. So Steve told her to take in the moment. You guys, you said, but what? I'm gonna get to your comments in a minute. I just want to make sure everybody knows who she is. I think y'all getting the gist. This was a nice wedding, though. These pictures are gorgeous. The newlyweds exchanged rings made by Shirley's friend, Atlanta jeweler Ty Parker. The couple bounded through people watching and talking in Atlanta's Piedmont Park. Her first impression, he was so easy to talk to. He was just the perfect Southern gentleman. She says, I'm grateful that everything went off without a hitch and it turned out to be a beautiful ceremony. Everyone had fun, she said. Everybody in the newlyweds pose. This is their bridal party. Her message to single ladies. See, she's still giving advice. God loves us all the same. What's for you is for you, and it is coming. That's a quote. Ooh, this is a long article here. Kim serenaded. You know, Kim is from the D. He serenaded the newlyweds with "Share My Life" for their first dance. Of course he did, because what other songs Kim gonna sing? Kim, we gonna need you. You represent the D. We gonna need you to get a couple of more new songs. But this was a few years ago, though. I asked him to also sing "Nobody." That's our favorite song. And Ernesto told me whenever he hears that song, he thinks of me. So Kim song "Nobody" too. I'm working to be an even better wife to my second husband with the lessons that I've learned from the mistakes that I made. Listen with your heart. Talk to God. Inquire of Him what it is that He will have you do. Put Him first in your life, Shirley says. To all the singles ladies, Shirley passes on a bouquet and blessings to the single ladies. And then it was his birthday on the wedding day as well. So he turned 50. So apparently they celebrate that on the same day as the wedding. So that was the wedding day that we just went through of Miss Shirley Strawberry. So let's get into it. There have been headlines that occurred recently. Again, there was a Zoom bond hearing that occurred with Earnest Williams. It occurred last week. A lot of people have shown snippets of the Zoom hearing, like the different parts that have made some of us gasp, like what? But if you will take the time to listen to the entire segment, because it was other defendants that were on there as well, it wasn't just him. If you will take that time to listen to that entire segment, you will gain a lot of insight as it pertains to this individual. I have several documents. Again, we don't have time to go over all the documents that I have. He was not an honorable man, but was seeking a woman of integrity and honor with money, the gift of gab, and not wanting to be alone. Sucked her in. Ain't nothing about him is a gentleman. Leave God out of this. All right, Miss Gigi. I can't say that I necessarily disagree with you, Miss Gigi. Yeah. And that's kind of how I looked at it. She's obviously out in the public. She has connections. She's considered a celebrity, herself. She's known. And we also have to look at the fact that if you guys watch that Zoom hearing, the attorney for Earnest Williams was trying his best not to say her name. He did not want this to get out about that she was connected to this. I'm surprised it stayed under wraps as long as it had, because when I looked up the cases, because what happened is when the bond hearing started, the judge started out rattling off cases. Okay, so she rattled off maybe 3 cases. When it came to the 4th case, she's like, defense attorney, do you want me to waive reading what these charges are? Because they had some dealings with children. And so the defense attorney was like, first he made like, it don't matter. I don't think Mr. Williams care if you rattle it off or what. Then I guess maybe he thought about it, like, yeah, don't say that. Like, don't rattle him off. It's cool. So she did it discreetly and said that it has something to do with nudity. So she did 4 charges. So then it was an ADA that was on there, and she rattled. I think that was what her title was. She may be something else, but she talked about 2 cases. So of course, I go look up all 6 cases. What I found out, from what I can gather, Mr. Williams has been in jail since July 7th of 2022. Now, most of the headlines did not talk about this until October, when there was a warrant, or it said arrest, and we're going to go through that as well. It said he was arrested in October in connection with this big $1 million scheme with this woman, Erica Hughley. Well, it turns out prior to that even happening, he was already in jail. So maybe the way it was portrayed, he was still incarcerated. So the first count, and I'm gonna say case one so we can get through this. So case one was filed on July 8th of 2022. Mr. Williams had his first appearance on that day on July 8th of 2022, and it was via Zoom from the jail. It had incarcerated person. At that hearing, they ordered no bond. So let me show y'all that. So this is case one. I'm gonna say it's ended in 0500 because trying to keep up with these cases. So let me see. So the first case, you see, it's no bond. And then he goes on later. I believe it was October 31st. He gets they did a bond for 15,000. And then just last week, they've reduced this bond to 5,000. So as you see from, and I'll try to take the victims' names off of here, it has an order date of June 26th of 2023. Okay. Then there was case number two. Case number two ends in 4403. That was his first appearance, was also on July 8th. And the charges are, well, let me say what the charges were for the first one. It was theft by deception. That was the first charge from the first case I just told you guys about. Case number two, ending in 4403. The first jail appearance was July 8th of 2022. Count one was theft by taking, which is a felony. Operation of a credit repair business, which is a misdemeanor. Count three is theft by deception. There was also later an indictment that was filed in this case. Let me see. Yeah, it had an indictment. We're going to go over those indictments in a minute. Just the two different ones that I have. So they at least give you a background on what was going on. Case number three, ending in 4402. That was, again, no bond. Then there was a request made to transfer the case. Let me show you guys. Because of his history. So the way they have it divided, from what I gather, is different than where I'm from. So this is something that I'm just ascertaining as I was reading these documents, using my little brain here. You know what? Let me put this first. Okay. Hold on. So this is the two counts. So now we can ascertain what was going on. In the name and on behalf of the citizens of Georgia, do charge and cause Earnest Williams with the offense of theft by taking for the said accused in the county of Fulton and state of Georgia did between the 24th day of July 2020 through the 16th day of September 2020 did unlawfully take United States currency of a value of at least $5,000 but less than $25,000, the property of Calvin, I'll say his last name, with the intention of depriving said owner of said property, contrary to the laws of the state, the good order, peace, and dignity thereof. Count two, and the grand jury's aforesaid in the name and behalf of the citizens of Georgia do charge and accuse Earnest Williams with the offense of operation of credit repair services organization for the said accused in the county of Fulton and state of Georgia did between the 24th of July 2020 through the 16th of September 2020 did unlawfully affiliate himself with a credit repair services organization by representing to Calvin Seward that he would improve said person's credit record, history, and rating in return for the payment of money contrary to the laws of said state, the good order, peace, and dignity thereof. All right. Let's go to the theft by deception. Hold on. Wait a minute. Theft by services. In the name and behalf of the citizens of Georgia, do charge and accuse Earnest Williams with the offense of theft of services for the said accused in the county of Fulton and state of Georgia on the 18th day of November 2021, did by deception and with intent to avoid payment, knowingly obtain car repair services of a value of more than $1,500, but less than $5,000, which were available only for compensation from Palmer, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and for which the accused failed to pay, contrary to the laws of the state, the good order, peace, and dignity thereof. Now, once this case started getting kind of into the nitty gritty, you know, they were like, they have it. This is what I was gonna say. In Georgia, it appears that when you have certain complex type cases, like you're a repeat offender, depending on the level of the charge, they don't have just a regular judge that can preside over this or a magistrate. You have to go to an elected superior judge that can handle this case. So when it came to these two cases that I just talked to you about, hey,
hold on one second.
okay. When it came to these two cases that I'm just referring to, okay. When it came to the case that I'm referring to right now, there was a request. Hit the mute, Thais. When it came to that case, we learned of what his history was. Okay, so we're gonna get into that right now. So this is the past criminal history that he had. Now, people were asking me, did she not do a background check? These date back to the 80s. So what was filed was a request to transfer repeat offender from non-complex division to complex division. Comes now the state of Georgia to request that the above style case be transferred from the non-complex division to the complex division as a repeat offender. The defendant has at least 5 prior felony convictions in a lifetime or 3 prior felony convictions in the past 5 years. And then it says, pursuant to the above governing standing order, a repeat offender case that is initially assigned to the non-complex division shall be transferred and appropriately assigned to an elected superior court judge. So these are the cases that this is his past history. So we have theft by receiving, which was in Fulton County or about 1989. Theft by taking, which was in DeKalb County. This is all Georgia, 1991. Theft by taking in Fulton County, which was 1989. Armed robbery in Cobb County in 2006. Theft by taking in Gwinnett County, 1991. Armed robbery in Douglas County in 1993. False statement in Cobb County in 2006. And bank fraud in 2008. And if you guys watch that Zoom hearing, his attorney, him being Earnest Williams, his attorney, they got another alias on here, aka Victor West. So he must use aliases too, allegedly. But his attorney essentially just was like, he does have a laundry list of felonies. However, that's all in his past. None of them are recent. They all are, go back to the 80s, which is the truth. And when the DA responded, the DA essentially said, well, he did some prison time. I want to say they said 10 years, if I ain't mistaken. But y'all go double check the video for one of these crimes. So yeah, this is how we found out, how I was able to ascertain what his history was looking like. So then we move on to more criminal indictments that were talked about, while we were on that Zoom. And it is, he has a criminal indictment for count 1, theft of services. Count 2 was the deposit account fraud. So it was bad checks. That was originally with no bond. Again, they tried to transfer that as well. Then we have the case that we all heard about, which was the case with this young lady. So again, there were 3-4 cases before we even got to the one in October that everybody was kind of talking about, with him being a co-conspirator allegedly with this lady, Erica Hughes. So this is what was being alleged on this Erica Hughes situation. I'm going to play it. Hopefully ain't too many commercials on here. Let's see. Is it going to come on? No? Okay. All right. I'm trying to see if I could share this thing. Give me one. How you doing, Thais?
Child rushing home for you. I don't move like this, Pam. I walk slow. Child, I'm sprinting and jumping over steps.
Like, what? You coming up right now? I was like,
I don't run. I don't run. I don't skip. I don't do none of that. I walk slowly. But I am here since I watched the whole thing from the beginning in the car.
Okay, cool.
So I'm all up to date.
So I'm trying right now. I want to find, because I did have it all queued up. So y'all don't be going in my chat talking about how unorganized I am, because that's what some of y'all do. And then I just delete you depending on how I feel that day. So let's just, it was queued up and then it looks like it needed to be refreshed. But if I can't find it, I'll just
But what is she? I know a lot of people say Steve Harvey allegedly introduced them or whatnot, but like for real though, where did they really meet at? Like Thugs R Us?
Just say Thugs R Us.
I mean,
how does Steve Harvey know him though?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. That's what we all trying to figure out. Like, because that what you just read, Pam, that was disturbing, that rap sheet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm all for second, third, even third chances. Sometimes it takes some of us a while to get our heads right. But this dude is just, when you look at his record, it's like, oh my gosh. But he's not straying from the MO, it sounds like. And all of this, he is innocent until proven guilty.
He is. But were those cases adjudicated that you just read off?
The ones that I read are the current open cases. The one that I just read was his background, because they wanted to, the way the courts do it in Georgia is when you have simple cases, it sounds like simpler cases, they do have a certain division. But when you got something like what this is looking like, then they want it in a whole different division. I can't find it right now. So let me read these next charges. So case number 4, this is where it gets a little murky, because I think that, and even the APA said they think they mixed these cases up.
Okay.
So it's ending in 1078. So on July 30th of 2022, he had his first jail appearance, and it was 5 counts of conspiracy to commit a felony. So 2 of those counts were eventually dismissed.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and then he ended up with a $5,000 bond. Let me see if this got any victims' names on it. Nope, it doesn't. I can show y'all this bond sheet. I'm just trying to make sure I don't put folk names out here. Then I have to delete the whole video after all this hard work that I'm doing.
I agree. And the chat is lit, honey. Steve couldn't refer me to a plumber. Child, are you serious?
So as you guys see, it has 5 counts to commit conspiracy to commit a felony. As you see at the top, that's the accusation. He has 2 of them were dismissed. 2 of the counts were dismissed.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna tell you why they were, because they did have a document on that. So he has, for those, he has a 5K a piece for each count in bond.
Okay.
Okay, and then on this same case, this is the reason, because I heard people were like they didn't know why. So on the first appearance, they dismissed 2 counts, and they said it was 2 counts of conspiracy to commit a felony because they said the warrants were fatally defective because the warrant was basically recalled by the ADA. So that's the reason why. I mean, not much big of an explanation, but that's the reason why it was. But then we have the 5th case, which is the 12559 case. That was filed on September 22nd of 2022, and it was 3 counts of conspiracy to commit a felony, and then it was later amended, adding 2 counts. This is why I think that they just mix these up, and I think the ADA mentioned that as well, that they may have mentioned these last 2 cases up. They may have mixed them up.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the one with the young lady Erica Hughley. So with Erica Hughley, I gotta find this video.
Is this a side chick lady?
I don't know. I heard that, but
yeah, they say it was a couple of side chicks.
Oh yeah, that we get into that in the video, but we ain't got there yet. We slow walking this thing. So let me see. What is his name? Earnest. Talk to the people for me. I gotta find this video.
I think it was okay. It was a side chick, a dog, a side chick, 2 side chicks, a dog, a trip to Popeyes, a Kroger run. It was just it was a lot going on, Pam. A lot.
Yeah, so all of that is what people got out of that Zoom that I have. Did you see the Zoom?
Yes, I watched it on another platform.
Okay. Here you go, right here. Let me play this. So we not winging it. I want to make sure that we in decency. And
was that like the attorney Pam? Was he a paid attorney? Because it was giving like real public defender energy.
He's retained. I think I heard somebody else say that too. No, he was retained. I looked.
He was doing a lot of I'm like, oh my God, okay.
So Roswell police make double arrest in $1 million fraud scheme. So this is the case that everybody knew about it. But if you guys notice, the date is October 25th of 2022. I just read off July dates where he was in jail without bond for a while. So he was already in jail. They was just able to keep this hush hush. And you seen, and it had something to do with the credit repair business. And then you also seen a claim that he didn't pay the dealership. So I believe, in my personal opinion, that they were already looking at him. And then it just, So what ended up happening before we get to the video is there was an eviction that occurred. And in this eviction, let me put this up real quick. So in this eviction, this is what they're going to talk about in this video. So in the eviction, essentially it had Shirley Strawberry, it had Ernesto, and it had all their companies. In this place that they were living, of course they don't live there anymore, it was alleged that they had not paid rent for April, May, June, July, and August. Now we all know he was in jail in July, August, so that wasn't about to be paid. But
Right.
this is allegedly. Now, this wasn't filed, as you guys see, until August 16th of 2022 which shows the non-payment, unless they talking about a whole different house on the same street, which it could happen. But this is what allegedly precipitated the investigation into Mr. Earnest Williams. So let's play this. Let's play this here. We might have to watch a commercial first because they want to get their stuff together. Custom t-shirts.
Don't settle for boring. Design memorable t-shirts online in just a few clicks at uberprints.com. You can trust us to be the printing professionals.
Well, more than a dozen people scammed out of $1 million. 2 people have been arrested on a number of fraud charges.
Fox 5's Denise Dillon talked to Roswell police about the pair's extensive business scheme and why they believe there are more victims.
Police say for years, these two would convince people to give them money, and in return, they would help them with their business or personal goals. But investigators say it was nothing but a scam.
I would consider them fraudsters.
Roswell police say for years, Earnest Williams and Erica King passed themselves off as experts in various fields.
And they would align themselves with their victims with promises of being able to grow their brands, their missions, their life goals, their social media followings.
Detectives say Williams and King acted the part, and people paid good money for their services, but walked away with nothing. Police say it was all a scam.
More than a dozen victims and over $1 million in monetary and property loss.
Police say their investigation first started at this home on Pine Grove Road months ago. Investigators say after Williams and King hadn't paid rent for a while, detectives started looking into their financial transactions, and it led them to their extensive scheme. Police say they were convincing.
Individuals who have been doing this for a significant period of time and are proficient enough that they can make people comfortable and act against their better judgment.
Williams and King are now in jail, both facing multiple charges of fraud, forgery, and theft. Police warn if you want to grow your business, make sure you work with a legitimate company.
Try and go with very reputable businesses if you're trying to grow your brand, grow your business, so that you don't end up a victim.
Of those 12 fooled, some were here in Roswell, others across metro Atlanta, and even a couple out of state. And police believe there are many other victims. If you have had any dealings with King or Williams, call police. In Roswell, Denise Dillon, Fox 5 News.
So that is the situation that I think sparked this conversation that we've been having on YouTube, was this one with this young lady. Now, somebody just said in the chat that there was another house that may have been next door down the street or something, and that may have been what precipitated. I don't know. But just looking at the timeline, to me, it looks like they were looking at him before, because you not paying for your repairs on your car really don't have nothing to do with this. And this individual, where this indictment came down with his name and stuff on there, that's something that obviously he probably filed a police report. And when they filed the police report, then that happened. And then they probably really looked into him when he wasn't paying no rent, because he has this past history of doing these type of thefts and getting over on people. And so that's probably how they ended up, really getting these affidavits and warrants to try to look into him and his life and what was going on, his finances and whatnot.
Was he with Shirley at that time?
They married. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm just trying to figure out what happened to the men's grooming service business, because they was promoting it like it was like the most premier thing in Buckhead, like the men's grooming. They shave your beard, shave your hair, and then he also had a security, a non-armed security company. So what happened to all those businesses? Those are supposed to be like, premier.
Well, allegedly, when you look at the Zoom meeting, the Zoom hearing, those have gone to the pits of hell pretty much, because he's been locked up. So that was one of the arguments to try to get him up out of there, because he can't make money when he's locked up. So then there was another case that was mentioned And that one is the one that everybody was talking about, where there were these bond conditions that everybody was like, huh? So he has a 2023 case. So in January 13th of 2023, he had his first appearance. Again, he was already locked up. Count one with child P. Okay. Is possession, control of material depicting a minor in a provocative way.
Okay.
There are 4 counts of those accusations. Hey, really, B?
Hey, my bad. I thought you were going live at 5. I'm tripping.
I sure ain't give you a time at all.
I didn't want to say nothing, but I was at the bank when I got the news.
I'm sorry.
I didn't want to say nothing, really, B.
I just said you could just jump on if you can. Yeah.
And Pam, you know we'll stop what we do. We'll stop the world for you, Pam.
Okay. I love y'all. I appreciate. You know they go on my jacked up schedule. That's like, oh, I got 20 minutes.
You have my lipstick on yet. I didn't even know you was live, girl.
Yeah, I was still patting my sweat when I came on.
All right, it's 730 y'all in the chat. I'm gonna need y'all to hit that like.
Come on, 730. Yes, hit the chat.
Yeah, that's a good credit score too.
Not the credit score. Well, I don't think Ernesto has that credit score, but he did promise people that he can get them that credit score, apparently, based on one of these counts. So then we had the young lady. So if you guys, and I know you guys seen the Zoom. So when he stood up there for the bond hearing in January for these 4 charges that have to do with the child, he got no bond. Okay. So when this hearing happened last week, there was a request for bonds, and the ADA requested $200,000 a piece for each count, so a total of $800,000. And she essentially said, along with the other ADA that covered all the other charges, said this is a dangerous man. And the reason why he always got no bond immediately until he tried to do another motion to do a bond again, to request the bonds, was because they said he was a flight risk. Now, according to the Zoom hearing, this ADA said that Shirley's husband was caught on the phone call saying he was visiting his girlfriend in Florida. I said, what?
Oh, wow.
So that he was gonna flee to visit he was talking about it on more than one occasion that he would flee and go see his girlfriend in Florida. He also said that they said they weren't gonna bring up any names, but her boss has a house far, far, far away, and that he was talking about going there as well. So that's why they were saying that he was a flight risk. So then,
and that's over there. That's over there in Abubaca, right?
Abu Dhabi.
Yeah. I call it Abubaca. Okay.
Not Abubaca.
Go ahead, Pam. Take it from the top.
Put it on the jail cards, right? So then, the lady goes on to say, well, if he does get out, because they have to give him a bond of some sort. Now, that's your right. So, of course, they make it high where you probably can't meet the bond. But, you do have a bond in place. So, at this point, you guys, we went over at least, I don't even know how many charges. We went over about 5-6 cases. So, with all of these, there are bonds, I believe, except for one. You're talking about probably close to $1 million in these bonds to get out. And so she said, I want the standard conditions. This is why I didn't pay any attention. I want you guys to pay attention to the language of the ADA. This is why I didn't pay much attention to her saying no contact with animals. And the reason why was because when she said, I want the standard conditions, in my opinion, I just thought that when it came to, if you mess with a child, you probably mess with anything or something. And they just tried to make that into standard. We don't know what you went to. So because he's not accused of messing with a child. It's pornography type thing.
Right.
But, I'm sure they probably do the same type. You can't be around any minors under 18. All of that stuff is standard. So when she was rattling off, she said, no animals. And everybody be like, wait, what? He can't be around animals? You can't be around dogs and cats and nothing? Like what? No fish, no birds, there's nothing? So that's
Right.
what I think. It was very shocking. I've never heard it before. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. But when she started and said standard, maybe she was just talking about the ankle monitor, because of course that is standard for you to be on the ankle monitor. So it was very, very shocking. And even when his defense attorney was writing everything down, he kind of was, to me, it sounded like he was writing it down like it was the first time he ever heard it or something. I don't know. Y'all tell me if you watched it, what you guys thought when they said one of the bond conditions was you can't be around any animals.
Well, my first thought was I didn't really go to the bestiality part. I went into probably dog fighting and or either animal abuse. That's what I thought.
Okay.
But the more I thought about it, it's not really out of the norm nowadays, honey. We see a lot of cases of people fetishizing and having, sexual relations with damn animals. So to be honest with you, and with everything that's going on in this case, it wouldn't be really, really mind-blowing, fam.
But then also, and somebody mentioned that, and I'm gonna let you respond to really be after this. But also, there was, and I forgot to mention, there were 2 outstanding warrants in California for allegedly stealing cars and bringing them to Georgia. But they being California got their own problems, so I guess they weren't trying to extradite. Or maybe they saw the laundry list of what was going on already, so they was like, y'all got this. I don't know. But they're not extradition warrants, so they're not trying to get them. So he has those as well. Then, before it was over, another thing that was brought up was Roswell Police Department apparently are investigating. So according to them, by July 13th, there's supposed to be at least 15 more warrants coming out against him on top of all these cases that I just read.
15
plus warrants. It was the exact words that were said. What?
I know that women in the audience is probably thinking it's like, and it's a common thought, like, and not to step on you, really be, I know you're next, but when did Shirley know what she knew? And then also the question is, how much do you ask about your husband's business, and how much do you look into your husband's life when you're married? Like, do you ask questions? Do you, if you think something's wrong, do you ask him a question? I'm not married. I ain't never been married, Pam. I don't know how that works. Like, when did you know it, and how much did you know? Like, that's a question I'm sure a lot of people are asking.
See, I'm gonna say this. So to answer your first question, when I heard animals, of course, I did go to the bestiality because they always paired it with the SA charges. But Thais brings up a good point that it could be animal cruelty. It could be maybe there were pictures on the phone of animals being abused or something like that. So that's a valid point as well. As far as the last part that you just brought up, that's a good question. 2 things. First of all, I Google everybody, and people will be like, you just Google. Yes, if I meet you, once I get your government name, I mean, as far as dating wise, oh, I'm Googling you. And women, and I'm gonna speak to women because I'm a woman and I see it in women more so than I think I see it in men, although men will do it. Women, we have this savior complex. We have this thing where we feel like we can save somebody. And yeah, he was an ass to her. And yeah, he might have put his hands on her. And yeah, he might have went to jail. Or yeah, he might have, but that was his past. And I can make him a better man. And, he used to do this, but he doesn't do this anymore. And sometimes the red flags are smacking us in the back of our head and we don't want to see it. And so I say that to say, I don't think that she walked into this blind, but I do think she convinced herself that it wouldn't be her. He's different. He's going to treat me different. He's got these legit businesses, and that's not who he is now. Now, we do know that 99% of the time, who people are, what they show us is what they show us. But I just think that's part of the problem is that women, and again, I can't speak to men because I don't, but I see it in women all the time. They just want to save somebody. And they always think it's going to be different with them. He ain't going to do it with me.
We always think our stuff is better than the previous stuff. Okay. I mean, I'm be perfectly honest. You think your junk is golden, okay? Oh, he not gonna do that to me. That was just I know that was my attitude in my 20s. You couldn't tell me what he did. What? Yeah.
But that's the problem, Pam. She was in her 40s though.
No, I get my 20s too. I wouldn't do that now, period. But I know the mindset depending on what space and I was younger, I was immature, I was, I still had insecurities, I still had self-esteem issues. You have certain things, so it's like, well, if I do this for him, if I show them love, or I show them that I'm better than the person was before, I do that. You try to.
He didn't know how to love him. I know how to love him.
Yeah,
she don't know how to
nobody give him a chance.
She because we always quit. And again, I'm speaking from I'm not letting men off the hook, but I'm just speaking because that's the situation we're dealing with. We are always quick to believe what the man told us about what the other woman didn't do. She just treated him bad. She wouldn't cook dinner. She stayed out in them streets with her friends. They're always quick to believe all of that. And I also think, and I don't know this woman from a hole in the wall, but I also think there was a certain part of her that was willing to accept imperfection, thinking this might be my last chance. I don't know this woman. I don't know her, but I do think, I feel like there was a part of that there. Now that's just my opinion.
And that's the elephant in the room, because a lot of times I don't know who started this mess. Like, if you're 40 and you ain't married or you ain't got no prospects, then you either an old maid or girl, what's going on with your life? Y'all remember how Stella got her groove back and her whole dilemma, right? So at the end of the day, people need to really start being comfortable in your life with what you have, and don't rush into these circumstances because of these guidelines that we done put out here and these guideposts. You gotta have a man, you gotta have a house and a picket fence by 40 or you're washed up. If you gotta go through all of this, a lot of women would tell you, I just prefer to be alone. If it's that serious.
Target too, because she's known, so we can see what you have. We see your influence. We see your celebrity. We see all that. That's why I'm saying, and Steve Harvey is another one that gives out advice. But this guy must have been the sweet talker of, I was like, they said Southern charm. I just think he got a gift of gab. Somebody mentioned real quick before I forget that they said it was 34 images of children or whatever on the computer. I don't know anything about that. What I know is, at the time last week, I don't know how that information could be out there, because at the time last week, the defense attorney said he does not have discovery on this case. The only thing he knew was that there were one image. He mentioned one image that was on the computer, and that's not to minimize it, but saying 34 with animals and kids and all of that, I don't know where that came from, because that attorney said that he didn't have the discovery. So we don't know whether it's 100, 1,000. We really don't know. So I'm not going to put that information, out there, because I know that discovery, for those that don't know, is the evidence that we get that they have against our client. You have a duty to turn over the evidence that you have. As of that hearing, that defense attorney said, I don't have that discovery yet.
See, that's what I said. And child, you remember they argued me down, child. They said, I heard one. One. And again, it's not to minimize it, but like I was saying, we don't know the context of that one picture. When it sounds like they throwing the book at this man, they throwing the kit, the caboodle, the book, and everything else. And I'm not saying he don't deserve it, but again, I'm just leave it at that.
And so this is another thing. There was an affidavit that was, because at first I said, well, maybe when our girl Shirley got into this, okay, she didn't know she didn't know the length. She didn't know everything that was going on. So maybe she was on his side, in the beginning. Because again, at first it was you didn't pay, the Chrysler people, or you ran a credit repair, which is illegal in Georgia. You have to be licensed to run credit repair business. How many people be on there claiming all in other states where you don't have to be licensed, they the credit guru? You know what I'm saying? Maybe she rationalized that, and he got upset because it didn't work out for him. But then it was an affidavit, and this affidavit was mentioned in this last case that we're talking about with the 4 counts involving children. And so the attorney said, well, I have an affidavit, but I don't want to publish it. Essentially, it's going to be public for us to see. So he didn't want to publish it because he says she wants to, even though she loves her public because she's a public figure and she's a celebrity, she wants to have some form of privacy. So she didn't want her address and all that stuff, being out there. Well, because I went over all of these cases, I was able to find that I don't know if they took them down in the other cases, which I heard from other bloggers, but apparently they must have missed one.
Uh-oh.
Girl found
Baby.
Oh, shucks.
So this is what our girl Shirley had to say. She said, my name is Shirley Strawberry. I am over 21 years of age, and I reside in Fulton County, Georgia. The facts in the declaration are based upon my own personal knowledge. I am the wife of the defendant. My husband is the listed defendant in cases 22 SC. Those are the earlier cases I was reading. So in my mind, maybe she provided an affidavit for those earlier cases that they know it was going to go the way it started to go. That's what maybe that's how I want to believe.
Okay.
I have been told that in one or more of the cases pending before the court, I have been identified as either a victim of his or witness to a purported criminal act of his, to which I respond that I am neither. It is my intention that the court know once and for all that I am not afraid of my husband, that I wish for him to be released with no conditions as regards to me, that I wish for him to be able to reside with me or wherever he elects to reside. That's interesting, right? And that his release be effectuated immediately.
All right.
It is further my declaration that I have never made known to anyone at any time prior or since his arrest any desire contrary to that which is contained in this affidavit, and if a contrary understanding has been previously conveyed to this court or any other, they have been deceived. I have not been threatened, coerced, nor harassed in any way by any person to cause me to issue this declaration. And this declaration was filed June 24, 2023. So essentially, she signed this affidavit right before that hearing that we all saw.
Ooh.
Let's say we.
Baby, what is going on with these Shirleys? Shirley and Barbara. Shirley Murdoch. We need to go check on Shirley Caesar. It's something about these Shirleys. This is a bombshell, Pam, because this is like she know what's going on. She's listen.
And they kept trying to refer to her as SS. I'm like, we know who it is. It's just you can't try to make it private. But now, mind you, it's a Zoom hearing, and this man says essentially he's talking to his girlfriend in Florida. He's talking to his girlfriend in Florida, and then this attorney says, "Judge, we want the release off of her, the no contact off of her, because if you don't take the release off, then you might have a divorce in Fulton County." So essentially, they need to see each other so that they're not risking a divorce. Honey, that's what's gonna take risking a divorce. Not all.
I must say that's not how this works.
Interesting.
That's not how this works.
And the daughter, there's a slew of people that they made again as conditions to no contact. I want people to be aware that in some of those cases before this case with the 4 children pictures or whatever, before that, there were no contacts in a couple of his other cases that were, and one of the victims was listed as Shirley's daughter. So this was one of those theft type cases that I talked about. So it wasn't even like this children's case. Like they have the one with the kids. It does have her, and it has her kids, I believe, and it has a slew of other people that he can't be in contact with. But prior to this case that has to do with children, there was a no contact for the daughter that had absolutely nothing to do with this child case. It has something to do with one of these theft charges.
Okay.
Thank you, Deborah Bell, for becoming a member.
Yes, for the member.
Pam, do you think? Because I know they do that a lot. In cases. Do you think that one, picture charge is something that's there like a ace in the hole to just in case something else falls apart? We know we can go to that and keep it near with that.
I think, like what Really B said, they throwing everything at them. Like they're letting us know, because if you watch the Zoom hearing, that's why I was saying watching it in its entirety is very important, in my opinion, instead of snippets. Especially once you watch this video so that you can really get a clear picture of what I'm talking about. When the lady who was over that 2023 case, which is the child case, she said that part of these warrants coming out are so serious, and it almost sounds like it would be affiliated with that case with the kids. Okay. That's like what she said, without giving the facts of the case. I'm just letting you know that these warrants that are going to come out, some of them are essentially very serious. And it sounded like it was affiliated with that. And that was one of the reasons why she wanted a $200,000 bond per count. So it's more to it. Like people throwing out numbers and stuff. I'm not saying it's not going to go beyond one picture. I'm saying that the attorney didn't have any evidence, but there are inferences that you can make based on what the ADA that is over this case said in that Zoom bond hearing. And again, I don't know how long it's going to be up. So again, I got the whole link in my members section, but that's connected to the judge. I didn't do anybody that got it in their videos. I'm a stickler on that because the first thing they say when we click on Zoom is don't record. And so I'm like, I ain't putting not recording up in my stuff. I don't even care if it's on the internet, but that's just me. It may just be me being paranoid, but I am an officer of the court, so I try to hold myself to a higher standard when it comes to making sure that I follow all rules. So that's why I didn't put it in the video. I just left the link for you guys to see. But oftentimes they take them down. But this one, I think because she got so many reviews on it, because actually this judge got like, she can be monetized. Shoot, she thinks she got like 19,000 subs, 12,000 subs. I said, this judge can be monetized.
She would apply.
Yeah, that's the court's way.
But I have a question, Pam, and I don't know if this falls under legal advice. I don't know if you may be able to answer this or not, but should Shirley file for divorce right now, or is that a good idea?
I don't think she will. I think she's gonna be methodical. Because if it's inevitable that he's gonna go to jail, and again, he's innocent until proven guilty. So I don't want to say that. But I think it's gonna be methodical. It's gonna be very methodical how she chooses.
Step by step.
Yeah, and she's not gonna do it. And you know what? It's like, I get y'all going in on her in the chat. I just feel I would be devastated. I'm just saying, like, if you gave somebody, and then you're such a public figure and everybody's talking about it, we all talking about it all over the internet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would be devastated. Like, oh my God.
She was like the Rona Barrett of the hood. You know what I'm saying? She was like the Dear Abby of the hood. But the thing is, everybody's like, it would be good for her to come out and say something like just in general. She ain't got to go into the specifics, because a lot of people are like, girl, you didn't have no problem sharing them letters. Say a few words. Let us know how you doing. How you feeling, Shirley?
She should make her own. See, that would make everybody tune in if their numbers are low. And she should stream it too. Have her own strawberry letter to herself.
I would.
And then get her, her selfie advice. What would you give to yourself? What would you give to yourself? Or what would you, for Steve to give some advice? I hope y'all hitting these likes. I hope the likes are matching all these people that is in this chat. It's 995 of you guys in this chat.
Woo, you about to hit a cool thou, Pam.
It's 1,006 now. They'd hit that like button if Shirley Strawberry was here with us.
You see what baby, I should have put that in the chat.
Somebody call Shirley and see if Shirley's available.
Shirley?
Now I have to reach out to Shirley. Anybody in the chat know Shirley? I got questions.
Tell Shirley, honey, now's the time to sing like Melba Moore at the Palladium, honey. Tell us what we need to know.
She may have been involved in some part of his crime at one time, and she doesn't want him to tell them about her part. So she has to go with the flow, not to be confused with maybe Steve as well. Y'all think so? Did anybody know? Has Steve ever said? Do we know for sure that Steve introduced them? Because in the article it said a friend or a friend of a friend. Or are we just assuming as the public that that's who it was?
That's the
story they already told. That's the story they always told.
Okay.
Now, if it's a lie, look, if it's a lie, they told it because they always said.
I just wanted to make sure. Thank you, Chef Don. Keep it cold. 400 likes. It ain't even 400 likes.
400 likes now. Come on now, stop playing, y'all. Stop playing.
$3.99. Come on, y'all hit that like.
If it's 1,000 people in the chat, we need at least 750. We need at least 750 likes. Okay.
That's the least y'all can do. That's the least y'all can do for my sister.
Pam done went and dug. See, we only been getting part of the story. Even I only had part of the story when I did my video. Okay. Pam done went and she done put all these dead. This man got 5,672 indictments. And she done went and pulled all them daggone cases for y'all. She done read through them in between the Millie trial and doing her own job and chasing around her baby girl. Listen, y'all, the least y'all can do is hit that like button.
That's it. That's all I ask. Not much.
And y'all can hear her Cash App too, but you can at least just hit the like button.
Because I'm having to dig through all these documents for Shirley. On the official Thais report, all I'm going to do is lay Shirley out. I like you, Shirley. You know, you're a nice lady and everything. But on the official Thais report, I'm just gonna keep it basic. You know what I'm saying? What were you thinking, Shirley? Did you go up there? Did you see anything, Shirley? You know.
But that's
I ain't gonna do what my sister do research. I ain't gonna do all this research. I ain't doing it.
I just had to know because I get it. It's so much that I think because what Chronicle Speaks does very good, concise videos on this, and so. I don't know her, but shout out to her. I've seen a lot of short videos on it, but for me, you know how I am. I gotta look. I want to see what that means. Why did that happen? Why they dismiss these 2 counts? Is there any indictments that say what happened? Because I think we were all. Well, I was affiliating all his stuff to this co-conspirator with this girl Erica King Hughley, whatever her last, because she has multiple. She a whole nother show. Erica Hughley has so many charges herself. She has about, I think in the video they mentioned maybe 8 or 9 that she has that's connected with him. And connected not with him. She has 2 with him, but then she has some outside of that. But when he went to jail, I believe in July, she was also in jail for something else. And then they mentioned on the Zoom, and I'm trying to put 2 and 2 together. Somebody, I believe it may have been her, was impersonating a lawyer. Part of that was impersonating a lawyer. So I don't know if she was trying to get him out, but that was one of her counts, was impersonating a lawyer. So this Erica chick got a whole nother. But I've heard people say that it may have been that's who he was messing with, but I don't know. I have no information about that. But yeah. So it's a lot with her.
I knew something was wrong with her when one of her aliases.
You said what? Yeah, Rothschild. That's why that's part of her alias. Is Rothschild, because I think she might have really thought she was a lawyer. Remember that impersonator with the Rothschild back in the day? Do you remember that? The lady it was the guy that was going around in New York or something with Rothschild. But yeah, that's what she uses.
Yeah,
Rothschild.
I was thinking about the money. Yeah,
she impersonated. You said yes, it was her. Yeah, she one of her charges is impersonating a lawyer. So it's a lot of stuff.
Oh, wow.
Not that it's just not that simple. It's very complicated with all these cases.
Well, I hope Shirley sell her right. Shirley should sell her rights to Lifetime or TV One, honey, because this would be a whole miniseries, Pam. I'm serious.
It's definitely a lifetime. It's definitely a lifetime movie.
Not a Rothschild. All right, y'all. Let me see if it's any questions. Y'all got anything to say? Shoot, we done been on for over an hour. Thank you guys for coming over here. I appreciate it. You guys make sure you go to the beginning. As I broke down all the cases that they talked about in the Zoom. She mentioned a list of cases, and I made sure I let everybody know what those charges were and what the bond was in those cases. He got a slew of them. He literally has a slew of cases because he has. Let me go back over it one more again. He has one charge of theft by deception. That was the case ending in 10500. He has case number 2 ending in 4403. One count of theft by taking, which is a felony. Count 2, operation of a credit repair business, which is a misdemeanor. And count 3, theft by deception. Then he has a case ending in 4402, which is one count of theft by deception and deposit account fraud. So it was a bad check. Then he has case number 4 ended in 11078, 5 counts of conspiracy to commit a felony. Then he has the 5th case that I found ended in 5559, was 3 counts of conspiracy to commit a felony. I'm believing those 2 were somehow merged, and that's kind of what the APA was trying to figure out as well. And then we have the case number 6, which is the 4 counts involving the children. And then we have allegedly 15 plus warrants that are supposed to come back out. And he has 2 warrants in California, but they're not going to extradite him.
He's not coming. He's not getting out no time soon, Pam.
He coming home. He's not coming home to his wife.
No.
And then Shirley, this is the affidavit. She want her husband to come home. She says she is not a victim, nor does she want any type of restraining order being put out there. So thank you, Denise. I appreciate it. What Denise say? This ain't no strawberry letter. This some blueberry.
Yeah.
Not blueberry.
Got a super chat.
It's a patty pie. It's a whole patty pie. You know them pies are nasty, Pam.
You guys have any parting words? We thank you guys for coming in. I had Patty coming over here, coming for me.
I'm sorry. Those pies are delicious.
You ain't got to lie either. Just don't say nothing.
Sorry, Patty.
You not. You not.
Charlie need to go ahead and file for divorce. Think like a man, girl.
Baby, that's what I would suggest. I wonder is Shirley watching us right now? What y'all think? Because y'all know Reverend Leftwood watches. I wonder is Shirley watching right now? What y'all think?
Stand. It's talking about Whitehead has 24 hours to respond. How dare this dude have more cases?
Shirley, if you watching, we praying for your mama. We gonna keep you lifted.
I'm not doing this with y'all. I'm not. I am not. All right, y'all. Any parting words before we get up out of here? Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you hit that like button because you guys was playing me today on these like buttons. Hit the like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you to all the new subscribers, and make sure you come back. Go ahead, Ice.
Like I said earlier, y'all, just ladies and even fellas, just be comfortable. You know, be comfortable. Also, trust your intuition because Oprah said it years ago. God gives us so many signs, we just ignore them. He starts out with a pebble, then he gives you a rock, and then he gives you a brick. So please tap into your God-given GPS, your God-given intuition when it comes to these situations, because I'm pretty sure if Shirley in her quiet time think she has felt some things and she probably chose to say, you know what, he's different or this is going to work out. So just know that you're okay if you're 40, 50, or even 60 and you're by yourself. You know what? Give it some time, but don't rush it. We with you, Shirley.
We praying for you, Shirley. For
we
real.
praying for you, Shirley.
This ain't funny for real. But man, I ain't never seen this many. Like then they just like, we have 15 more coming, 15 plus coming in by the 13th. I was like, dang, today what, the 3rd? By the 13th?
Ain't you tired, Miss Millie? God darn.
Poor Shirley. Poor Shirley.
All right, really, B, you got any parting words? We about to get up out of here.
No, I guess it's to be continued. They coming back with 15 more indictments, child, I guess.
Oh, I'm on it. And apparently everybody watching the way they done subscribe to that judge's channel. Everybody gonna be watching. This might be stuff I gotta go ahead and judge. I said she can be monetized. I need some of them subscribers.
But she better go down there and apply.
Okay. She said be anxious for nothing. All right. That's a word right there.
That's a word.
And you know, another thing, one more thing is, what about, has Steve Harvey said anything? Nothing, huh?
Oh, Steve Harvey celebrating his anniversary. So he's showing his pictures and stuff for him and his wife. They celebrate.
Okay. That's what's up.
They busy. They busy. He ain't got no time for this.
Steve ain't gonna say nothing. Steve is
and hosting Family Feud everywhere.
Yeah, I don't see him saying anything. That just don't seem to be his style. I don't see him respond. I don't know. Maybe they'll say something on the show, but I don't see.
All right, y'all. Well, thank you guys again for coming. You guys know we always have a good time when you guys come on over here, and then messing with my jacked up schedule. You guys came on. I really appreciate and love both of you guys. Until next time, y'all, we're gonna holler at you later.
Yeah. So many lies that you hear from the net, they don't get her respect. She reporting the truth, not a check. You want an unbiased opinion straight from the chest, not a bit accomplice or someone here for a check. Tune in, these are thoughts from a lawyer on a mission who goes so hard it's like she works on commission. Trolls in the comments might say she tripping cause they lack the knowledge, they don't know they missing. Got a couple current events that you like, wanna know about law from the eyes. Tired of all these blogs running lies because their agendas are disguised. Tune in to the intellect, cause I'm sure y'all missing all the facts of the case that she steady is gifting. Someone here for the people, man, it's so uplifting. If you ain't subscribed yet, then you just omitting facts.